Hello, this is Dr. Acha. We're going to be looking more into self-awareness, and I'm going to use the Atlas of Emotion to show you a very important principle in self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I'm going to show you through a few examples from the Atlas, and then we make the point at the end using some sort of an inductive approach. Okay, note right here that there is a stimulus. A friend gets angry at you. This is a stimulus that you're going to see constantly, okay, throughout all the examples. But if your friend gets angry at you and your circumstances are that you are low on sleep, and because of that, your worldview, you are reminded of a bully, and you think you interpret the whole situation, your interpretation is that your friend is being a bully, and so you get angry, and this is a physiologic response that you show here. You become tense, and the mental experience of the emotion right here, and these are your responses. You either respond in a constructive, a destructive, or an ambiguous way. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. We're going to see here we have the same exact stimulus, okay, but now we're looking at fear. Okay, a friend gets angry at you in the context of you reading scary news. You'd been reading scary news and your friend gets angry at you, and because of your worldview and previous conditioning and past experiences, it reminds you of abandonment. Perhaps you suffered abandonment in the past, and that triggers the emotion fear, the emotional experience fear. And as that is happening, the physiologic response through your autonomic nervous system, the endocrine system, is that you get your heart that is pounding, you're sweating, you may be sweating and stuff like that, and you expect them to leave you. And here are possible responses you might take. Okay, it's possible cognitive and or behavioral responses. You may recall why your friends, that would help you. Actually, that would help you. But if you imagine them living, that's destructive, and this is ambiguous. Okay, now let's go to the next one. The next emotion here is disgust, and we're going to look at disgust next. Again, your friend feels angry at you, but you had been grieving recently. You had been grieving when your friend was angry at you, and that reminds you of insensitivity. You interpret the whole situation as, so the interpretation is that your friend is insensitive, okay, and then your interpretation is that your friend is insensitive, and then here's what you do. You feel disgust, okay? There's the emotional experience that you have. Your physiologic response is that one of recoil, and you feel sickened to your stomach, and this is one of possible responses that you're going to give. Behavior, again, cognitive or behavioral responses to emotions. You can ask why they're angry. That would be a constructive one. If you belittle them, that's a destructive one, and if you avoid them, that's an ambiguous one. You look here, and then here's sadness. The same exact, a friend gets angry with you, the same exact stimulus. The stimulus is the same, but you're seeing differences. You had been listening to sad music, okay, and that reminds you of rejection, and so you feel sadness. And these are your emotion, these are your physiologic response and your mental experience, and these are responses that you can have. Okay, this again, the key thing I want you to see here, this is true in real life for you and for me, is that the same exact stimulus can produce in us different emotional experiences given different circumstances. When we're undergoing in different circumstances, then that would be the case. In fact, as you've learned from the course, you can feel more than one emotion at a time. You can be excited and scared, okay, at the same time. And so when something can trigger both emotions in you at the same time, something that can happen can cause you to be excited and scared. Okay, finally, we look here, enjoyment. The same exact thing. You can have a situation where your friend, okay, where your friend gets angry with you because you scored a touchdown, and you interpret the situation and see the friend as a sore loser, and that actually makes you excited. You rejoice and even mock your friend. The physiologic response is that of adrenaline rush, and this it's your mental experience, and this responses, physiologic, cognitive and behavioral responses that you can take. So keep in mind, this is very important in self-awareness, emotional experience, to just understand and keep in mind that the same exact response, so rather the same exact stimulus can stimulate or trigger different responses in the same person depending on the current emotional state and circumstances. And so that understanding will help you to be able to work to make sure that you control your own state. And when we start talking about social awareness, you would also get to see how this same principle is true, because in the other person that you're dealing with, the children you're taking care of, the students you're teaching, your spouse, your colleagues, you will quickly realize that the same is true for them, and that one stimulus could stimulate different responses in them based on how they're currently feeling, and that would get you to be able to connect with them more, to really understand what stimulus will be needed to produce what type of emotion in them.